Welcome back to Down to Business. I'm Josh Dirks, and today I'm here with Dan Peterson of Windermere. And Dan, the first segment, we talked a little bit about the real estate, what got you into the game, and kind of some of the things you've done over the last few years. But let's talk about marketing specifically for your office. What are some of the things you guys have done through traditional media or print that you guys have been currently using to get your name out there?
We have drastically changed that, I'd say, this past year. For years, from when I got into the business in '92 up until, say, this past year, we were piggybacking on some of the things the corporate is doing. There's always magazines that come out that Windermere has some very nice, very high quality, which is what Windermere always does, magazines, and those are still out there. Our office had been involved with, there's things like Harmon Homes, the real estate book, and you're doing office pages, trying to create calls coming into the office. There are a lot of newspaper advertisings. We've had double trucks in the Everett Herald. In the Seattle area, they always had maybe 4 or 5 different double trucks. We kind of start looking at our return on our investment on that. And when you start looking at some of that, and you look at some of the National Association of Realtors statistics where they say in how many people, for example, found their home in a book or a magazine nationwide, less than 1%. How many people found their homes in a newspaper ad? About 2%. But then how many people found their homes on the internet? 37, 38%. How many used found it from an agent or just driving by signs? That's where everything's going. So we've pretty much dropped those traditional advertisings. Agents specifically will do a lot of it. So as long as you have good agents and they're doing a lot of business, they're getting the name out for you. Mm-hmm. We as an office are here to support our agents, and we try and make it easy for them to do the business that they're going to do. So a lot of our role, marketing, is providing tools for them so they can do their business. So there's a lot of, through Windermere, listing to lead programs where it's real easy to take your listings and drop it on Active Rain, on Realtown, on Craigslist of all places. There's a lot of automatic leads that go into like Realtor.com, all the traditional real estate sites, download the entire multiple listing service. So a lot of it is just getting your name out there on the internet is basically what we're doing now. And some of those have costs to them and some of them don't. Okay. But that's where our focus has been, is really helping the agents get their name out through that. And our role as an office is to help the agents.
Okay, so it's kind of gone a shift away from just some traditional print, some of that stuff, more into just the online piece and helping your agents be found there.
Correct.
It sounds like, too, we talked about search engine optimization some and talking about how people get found. It sounds like you're also then partnering with the bigger real estate sites that have already kind of blazed that trail so they can find a home. And it might be a home I search for, but brings your real estate agent or your realtor up alongside of that, kind of allowing me to know that person.
Right. Well, we do have an office website that we work pretty hard on getting it pretty high on the search engines. Yep. Have a blog that's going on that. So anytime you have active things going on your website, it's going to pop up on that. And we will get business off of that. We will get inquiries. It's not like Windermere Corporate, where they get average, 1.4 million hits a month on their site. Our little Marysville office doesn't get that, obviously, but we'll get 500-600 hits a month from people going on our site to read it or to see what's going on. And it all helps. I mean, you have to get your name out there.
Well, you hit something I'm interested in. You said you guys have a blog going. Are you guys the one that's publishing the content? Are you coming up with the topics as a team? Like, how are you guys tackling? Because I know a blog can be daunting for some that look out there and go, well, what am I going to talk about on a daily or weekly basis? How have you guys tackled that, and how you found success in the blogging area?
I do it myself. So I figured no one really wants to know what I have to say. So a lot of it is when there's statistics that come out, I will put some of that out there because people are interested in what's going on in their local real estate market. I'll do a lot of reading and seeing when there's interesting articles dealing with either national real estate or local real estate. So it could be pulling things off of CNN Money, could be pulling things from Seattle Times, New York Times, whatever. I'll post some of those. A lot of people won't necessarily read those on their own, but if they see it on your blog, they'll read them that way.
Yeah, it's great ways of taking national headlines and making them
Right.
a little bit more localized
Right.
for you. Earlier, too, we kind of talked about Windermere sponsors a lot of events locally. I'm sure that some of your marketing advertising budget is going into sponsorships. Is that locally, or how do you guys
Not so much locally. Corporate
Yep.
does that. They have the Windermere Cup. Corporate, they sponsor Husky basketball, for example. A lot of it for us locally is, again, getting involved in the communities. We have a bowl-a-thon every year where we raise money for an organization called Housing Hope.
Nice.
And they provide transitional housing for people who are in need, and we will raise money for them every year. I would say over the last 5 years, we have our office, and we have 40 agents, have probably donated about £250,000 of food for the food bank.
Wow.
For the local food bank. So that's one of the really big things that we are proud of, that we're able to get involved with the community and help people who are in need.
Absolutely.
So when you're doing things like that, and on top of that, also the community service day things and other items like that in the community, your word gets out, and they see that you're involved in the community, and you can't buy advertising like that.
Yeah, it might not be the physical sponsorship of it, but maybe the dollars in time that you invest with an organization.
Absolutely.
And each agent's free to kind of go out in the community and find something they're interested in and
Right.
be involved that way. So thank you so much, Dan, for sharing some of those thoughts with us. We're going to be right back after the break to give some of the recommendations to Dan and the Windermere team that we have here at Down to Business. Stay with us through the break.